Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to some more of the Legacy Outer Scrolls content. This is another one on Arena. I already made a video sort of playing through the first dungeon or so of Arena. I actually planned on continuing that save and going through like the main progression of the game, and I did that, but I didn't actually end up editing or uploading those videos as I did as the first one I did. I didn't do that great, so I didn't see a point in actually going through with it. But I did actually enjoy my short time on this game, and I wanted an excuse to play it again, so I made a new account, which is, I think, a Nord woman. I thought it would be interesting to check out some well-known Elder Scrolls places in this game, since you can go to any province you want. And obviously you can do this in like ESO for a lot of different provinces. I don't know if you can do all of them necessarily. But I wanted to do Elder Scrolls Arena because I don't have ESO, and also I think it provides a bit more kind of like insight as to the Elder Scrolls development rather than just playing fucking a cash grab MMO. So seeing as most of you, including myself, came to this series of games from Skyrim, why don't we look at Skyrim? So straight off the rip, I'm noticing that we do have most of the main cities. They're not really in the exact same location, but that is to be expected. What the fuck is Snowhawk? Yeah, it's sort of to be expected that they're not in the same locations as, you know, developmentally wise. Better locations exist than this shit. Also, I'm noticing there's no Markarth. There is Karthwasten. Let's go to Karthwasten. In Skyrim, I believe that's just like an inn and like a mine. Maybe like 2 houses, 2 buildings total. Wow. Surprisingly consistent. What the fuck? That actually scared the shit out of me, I'm not gonna lie. I may not be strong enough to kill this. I think I'm like level like 0 basically. Okay. Oh, okay. I found a building. Oh, there's 2. Oh, there's actually quite a few. Okay. Yeah, let's just keep our expectations low. Most cities in this game look very similar to one another. And I'm sorry if the music is very quiet. It's either extremely quiet or unimaginably loud, so I'd rather go for extremely quiet, as at least we can tolerate that, you know what I mean? Anyways, this isn't really one of the main ones I wanted to visit, so that's... What I am noticing is a lot more villages Arena than in Skyrim itself. Wait, what was that? This is Markarth side. Okay, so that's a village. I think there's sort of 3 types of location. Like big village, tiny village, and then city, I think. But yeah, let's go to Markarth side. That is nowhere near where it is in the game, like in Skyrim. I guess it makes sense though, because Markarth is literally a dwarven city that was abandoned by the dwarves, obviously, that people just settled into. So maybe in the hundreds of years before Skyrim that this game takes place, people hadn't really settled in that abandoned structure yet. So maybe you know, you can make lore reasons why it doesn't exist. But yeah, I'm going to assume that most Skyrim locations look a lot like this. I kind of want to check out like more of the main cities, like Snowhawk. That straight up got retconned out of the fucking franchise. Although Snowhawk does sound kind of familiar to me. I wonder if that's a fort, or like, yeah, I wonder, that does sound familiar to me. I'm pretty sure that might be a fort in Skyrim. Whoa. How's it going, chaps? Whoa. Okay, Snowhawk is an interesting city. Who are you? Ceylon Asgian, an interpreter. I'm working on translation Dark Elvish poetry. Okay. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure most elves speak English. I really like the snowy aesthetic, especially in like really old games like this, like the shitty pixelated games. For some reason, like low poly and like even like low poly games, like just old games in general, snowy aesthetics are so cozy and nice. I feel like, wow, there's like a river running through the city. I feel like old media, like old games, old movies, old shows and shit, was way better at making me feel cozy than any modern video game or, you know, anything really. And same with, like, most emotions. I feel like old games make me feel the most intense, like, fear. Like, no, like, granted, Skyrim, as a kid, made me fucking terrified of Bleak Falls Barrow. But, like, nothing compared to, like, I don't even know, like the shitty graphics of like, I'm trying to think of a scary old game, but I don't know. That's completely besides the point. Also, interesting little thing, a lot of, quote, villages in this game, like Dunstad, Greenwall, like Amor, like these are literally forts, bandit-infested forts in Skyrim. But in this game, like, we'll just go to one of them. Like, let's go to Fort Dunstad. It's actually like written into the lore. I think Legate Ricka in Skyrim tells you that Skyrim is dotted with ancient forts built by the ancients, and that it's sad because they've been overrun by bandits and like fell into holy shit. Fucking lizard man scared the shit out of me. Yeah, anyways, they fallen into despair, gotten, you know, run down, overrun with bandits. But they used to be like populated cities. Like, this is literally Fort Dunstad. This is a fort in the game. And like, let's look at Greenwall. Like, it's actually quite crazy because in this game they're like villages, and it's kind of like, I don't know if that's Bethesda getting lazy and realizing that in Arena these are villages, but they didn't have the time to make all of these villages in actual Skyrim. Maybe that's why. Budget restrictions, maybe. And so they had to, like, you know, write in some lore reason as to why there's way more bandits than there is actual, like, villagers in the, in Skyrim. I'm not really sure, but either way, I think it's an interesting little detail. Now let's stop fucking around in the shitty, unknown villages. Although it is also kind of interesting because, like, shit like this, Reek Corrugate, Verminwood, Peregrine Village, a lot of these places don't actually exist. I know Stonehills, I think, does exist. I think Stonehills is a mine. It's just a mine settlement in Skyrim. But yeah, there's like no Kingsgrove. There's a lot of them are missing. And a lot of them, well, obviously, right? Because not everything existed these several hundred years ago. Like, Helgen, I'm assuming, was relatively new. Because it sort of looked like a fort, but it had like a village on the inside. I don't know, let's go to Riverwood. I'm really interested to see how this looks. Ah, yes. Snowy Riverwood. Surrounded by this big wall and gate. Just as we know it. I wonder if there's gonna be a river at some point, like, flowing throughout the city. It does not look like it. I mean, obviously, with the 1994 game design stuff, you couldn't exactly, you know, have much creative interpretation when it came to making games, so, you know. Alright, let's have a stop off at, what's a good one? Like, I don't want to go to Riften. Actually, I kind of do. Let's go to Riften. I wonder if this is pre-collapse Winterhold. I don't actually know, like, the lore, like, when Winterhold got fucked. It's kind of interesting, though, because this is, like, the first city we've went to that hasn't been completely snowy. So it is sort of consistent. And hey, there is, like, water in this city, actually. Who is that? What is she doing? Are you okay, ma'am? What are you, a prostitute? If you wanna... Well, I think we got the answer we were looking for. Alright, let's do, Whiterun. Actually, no. I think Whiterun's gonna look the exact same as, like, Riverwood. Why don't we go to Windhelm? Whoa, this is not Windhelm. There's a lot of guards around. This is really interesting. What does the map look like? Yeah, just generic, massive city. Yeah, this is kind of more like what I expected Riften to look like, you know. Autumn trees, a little bit foggy since it's sort of by that lake. Alright, before we move on to, like, other provinces, why don't we do some Winterhold? Because I do think, I don't know if this is true, but I think when Winterhold kind of slipped and had that avalanche into what's it called, like the Sea of Ghosts or something. I think it had that avalanche 80 years before Skyrim happens. Can I wait till day? Like, I can't wait, can I? I have to sleep at a fucking inn. I don't assume there would be a College of Winterhold. You know, one of the things I really like about the Elder Scrolls, the first, like, 4 ones that came out, like Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, Daggerfall, you know, Battlespire, and Redguard. The thing I like about those 4 games specifically is just, like, the fact that they were... It's almost like looking at the Elder Scrolls before the Elder Scrolls had its identity, you know? Also, we're just gonna completely ignore the fact that I just completely fucking died. But back when it was just kind of like a medieval, kind of just generic medieval game, you know? Like, all of the quote, Jarls of Skyrim are kings. I think there's a king for every village, every city, everything, in every province. Everything has a king or a queen. Especially considering, like, how much lore there was just in this game. And I think at the time, one of the main sort of criticisms the game got was that there wasn't an in-depth lore. But even just this game itself has so much. I think it's so crazy how, like, in-depth everything goes. Obviously, things changed as time passed, right? The lore got added and changed and everything. But it's still extremely interesting. Like, I'm pretty sure Sourcetime as an island doesn't even exist. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I am not that knowledgeable about Morrowind. I'm mostly a Skyrim addict. I'm getting into Morrowind. I'm still not very knowledgeable. Orderrun, I don't know if that exists. Stone Forest, I don't know. I don't actually know if either of these 3 villages exist on Vvardenfell, which is the island that Morrowind takes place on. Can we see the Red Mountain? Oh wow, okay. I don't know. Let me think about that one. So wait, I wonder if it's actually accurate. So this is sort of to the northwest? Is that actually where it's positioned relative to me? It is. That is interesting. I wonder if we go to, like, Stone Forest, if it would be sort of to the northeast. If they implemented that in this game before the knowledge of, like, literally anything, that would be so crazy. Like before the knowledge of real, like, Elder Scrolls lore and everything. It is. You can just kind of see it. Yeah, look, it is. It's mostly to the east. I think it is actually more to the east than northeast. That is crazy how they had, like, not only the technology, but also, like, the insight to do that. Instead of just have one consistent skybox for all 3 of these cities, and just have it in the same spot for each of them. They actually put the time in to really put it where it should be relative to your location. That is crazy to me. Even if we go outside the city, I wonder if we would see it. That is so crazy! Well, I don't know why I'm so impressed with that. Let's just wander off into the forest. I wonder if we go to, like, Ebonheart. I have no clue anything about any of these names. Let's just see if I recognize any. Mournhold I recognize. I don't know its significance or anything, but I recognize the name. Of course I recognize Ebonheart. Let's go to Ebonheart, see if we can see the Red Mountain. If they did that for, like, all of Morrowind, that's kind of cool. It is. Wow. That's cool. Alright, yeah, unfortunately, I don't really know any of the Morrowind names. And there's only one city we can travel to in the Imperial Province. And, like, even High Rock. Oh, we could go to Daggerfall, too. What does Reich mean? R-E-I-C-H. What does that even mean? Wayrest. Yeah, the only 2 locations I recognize in Daggerfall is Daggerfall and Wayrest. I wonder why I recognize Wayrest. Is that, like, significant in some way? But yeah, the Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall takes place, I think, from around this location all the way up this road. I think it's, like, sort of this way, and sort of it takes place in some of Hammerfell. I'm pretty sure this lake is sort of in the middle of it, kind of. I don't really know. Yeah, let's go to Daggerfall. We'll go to the Imperial City last. Now, with the 2 art styles of this game and Daggerfall being very similar, I could kind of actually expect it to look kind of consistent. It is very, what is that? What is that? Is that like the moon or something? Yeah, what is that? It's to the north. I think that might be like the moon. But yeah, this does kind of look about equally as confusing and, you know, brown as Daggerfall does in Daggerfall. Although surprisingly, considering it was a game that came out in I think 1996, Daggerfall is shockingly good graphics. Like, it's very tolerable and a very playable game, which is quite good because my Daggerfall video that I did originally actually got decent views, so I may make another video on that game. Anyways, yeah, let's go to Wayrest. That may be... I don't know. I can't think of why I know that name. I was gonna say it might be where you start out, but you start out, I think, in a cave called Pioneer's Hoard, something like that. Well, what's that? Oh, it's a puddle. I thought that was like a manhole leading into the underground civilization or something. I don't fucking know. Yeah, look at that. That's actually quite cool. Alright, yeah, interesting enough. Let's go to the Imperial City. Whoa, it's nighttime. Yay! I'm not gonna lie to you, I did come to the Imperial City before. and I had a quick look around. So I do know vaguely what it looks like, but I do kind of want to get a daytime shot. I don't know, I can't really find an inn, but it looks kind of, you know, like the same as every other village slash town slash place in Tamriel. I know this was sort of a Skyrim-centric video. I don't know if any of you wanted to see more of the Morrowind locations. I mean, there's not really, in my humble opinion, there's not many really well-known ones unless you're really deep into the lore of the franchise. I kind of am deep into the lore. I mean, I'm no fucking fudge muppet or anything, but I know a lot about Skyrim and a decent bit about about Oblivion, and I know like 1/50th of the lore about Morrowind, if that. And I know a tiny bit about High Rock. I mean, I know a little bit, but this was mostly meant to be a Skyrim video because I think it's the biggest difference. You can really tell the difference between how Skyrim looks and how it is in the events of Skyrim and how it is in this game, based off the two art styles, and they're two very different time periods, not pyramids. Yeah, and I guess, you know, the fact that some villages exist and some don't, and some look a lot different, isn't really a big deal because, you know, the villages aren't an objective thing. They change as time goes on. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching the whole thing. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to see any more on the Elder Scrolls Arena, honestly, aside from just playing the game, the intended, like, main storyline, I couldn't possibly see anything else to do. But yeah, I think this may be the last time I visit this game on the channel, so with that, I bid the Elder Scrolls 1 Arena farewell. Goodbye.